Why coaching never asks why. The danger of fast change. The myth of the breakthrough. In the self-help world, few words get used as often as breakthrough. Coaches promise them. Clients chase them. Companies sell them in slick marketing packages. A breakthrough is presented as a sudden, seismic shift that unblocks your path and sets you free. It sounds intoxicating. Who would not want rapid change instead of the slow grind of therapy or reflection? But here is the problem. Breakthroughs are often nothing more than reframes. A coach takes a snippet of your words, flips the frame, and calls it growth. The deep questions that might explain why the shift happened go unasked. That failure is not incidental. It is structural. Coaching, especially the kind built on NLP, neurosemantics, and integral models, is not equipped to probe contradictions or explore history. It celebrates rapid change because its business model depends on it. The result is an industry that mistakes volatility for transformation and leaves harm in its wake. The illusion of depth in rapport. At the heart of NLP and coaching methods lies the obsession with rapport. Coaches are trained to reflect language, match body language, and mirror tone so the client feels heard. Rapport builds trust, and once trust is secured, the coach can push harder without the client resisting. This is where coaching can look deceptively deep. Coaches do ask hard questions, and they may even challenge contradictions. But these challenges are not made to investigate or understand. They are made to expose a block that must be removed. The contradiction is treated as resistance, not as a clue to deeper causes. For example, if someone once admired stay-at-home parents but now criticizes them, a psychologist might ask, "Why did your perspective change so drastically?" A coach asks instead, "What belief is stopping you from stepping into your truth?" The surface looks similar. A contradiction is being addressed, but the intent is entirely different. One approach investigates, the other intervenes. And here is the trap. Because rapport makes the client feel heard, the challenge feels constructive. The seed of progress is planted. I am being taken seriously, I am being challenged, therefore I must be growing. In reality, no deeper understanding is being built. The questioning simply reinforces the cycle of identifying blocks and collapsing them, which is then sold as transformation. The cost of ignoring depth. Coaching sales pitch is its future focus. Coaches often say, "Do not look back, you are not going that way." On the surface, that sounds efficient. Why get bogged down in history when you can accelerate into possibility? But much of human behavior is rooted in the past. Perfectionism, shame, fear of failure, resentment. These do not appear out of thin air. They are formed through childhood, family dynamics, and lived experience. Ignore them, and you risk misdiagnosing the present. Take my own experience. For years, my ex-partner celebrated my role in our children's sporting lives. She bragged about the boys' representative achievements. She was proud of me for quietly helping on committees and coaching. She even posted on Facebook about it, recognizing that I was not a man chasing status but someone contributing to community. She did not just tolerate it, she admired it. Then, almost overnight, that pride was rewritten as neglect. Suddenly, I was accused of prioritizing sport over her, of not meeting her needs, of choosing the boys' activities over our marriage. Did my behavior change? No. Did her interpretation change? Absolutely. A psychologist would have asked, what caused this reframe? Why did something once seen as admirable become intolerable? A coach did not. A coach celebrated the reframe as a truth finally being voiced. That is not insight. That is amnesia repackaged as growth. The past is not explored. It is rewritten. Therapy looks backwards to explain the present. It treats the past as something complex, layered, and central to understanding who we are. Coaching does something different. It does not ignore the past entirely, but it uses it selectively. The past becomes a minefield for blocks to identify and collapse, or stories to reframe in order to fit a present breakthrough. That difference matters. Instead of asking, What in your history keeps showing up, and how can we work through it? Coaching asks, what in your past proves this new breakthrough is true? The result is distortion. In my case, years of support, pride, and teamwork were suddenly reinterpreted as neglect. The same past was not ignored. It was rewritten. What once stood as evidence of partnership became evidence against me. This is not dealing with the past. It is scapegoating disguised as growth. When support becomes neglect, the contradictions ran deeper. She had always supported our children's sport financially. She backed the travel, the gear, the representative opportunities. She enjoyed the social side too. She liked the couples we spent time with, most of whom were just like me, deeply involved in their kids' sports as a family. In her own youth, she had been a talented basketballer. She believed she could have gone further, even to representative level, if her parents had encouraged her the way we encouraged our boys. She told me that story more than once. She understood, more than most, how vital support was. And yet, when the coaching language took hold, that entire history flipped. What was once support became neglect. What was once pride became evidence against me. The irony could not be more brutal. She resented her parents for not backing her, but then reframed me backing our boys as selfishness. Again, a psychologist would have spotted the projection. They would have asked, is it possible your frustration with your own past is coloring how you see the present? But in coaching, the reframe is enough. The story does not need to hold together. It only needs to feel empowering in the moment. Why the hard questions never get answered. Here is the crux. Coaching is structurally incapable of asking the questions that matter. Time is money. Coaching sells packages and programs. Clients need to feel progress fast or they will not keep paying. Slow, careful excavation of childhood wounds does not fit the business model. Progress must be visible. Coaches are rewarded for delivering aha moments. That means plucking a phrase, flipping it, and calling it a breakthrough. Long-term stability cannot be measured in a weekend course, but a euphoric reframe can. The past is reframed, not explored. Therapy looks for repeating patterns and unresolved wounds. Coaching mines the past for blocks to remove or stories to rewrite. It validates reinterpretation over integration. Ego elevation. Coaches love to elevate themselves above psychologists. They boast about being faster and more effective. But speed without depth is not growth. It is volatility, the illusion of progress. When my ex suddenly declared I was not meeting her needs, nothing in the facts had changed. What had changed was the lens coaching gave her. It told her, if your needs are not being met, speak your truth. Do not get stuck in old stories. Rewrite them. If you have been prioritizing others, it is time to prioritize yourself. These sound empowering, but they also give permission to abandon consistency, history, and relationship. They validate rewriting the past, even when the new story contradicts years of lived reality. To an outsider, it looks like growth. To those left behind, it looks like gaslighting. The bigger pattern, rapid change as a red flag. Psychology treats sudden, wholesale shifts with caution. They can signal an identity crisis, indoctrination, or even manic processes. Healthy change tends to be gradual, tested, and integrated. Coaching celebrates the opposite. Rapid, total change is the product. Coaches call it collapsing beliefs or stepping into power. They mistake instability for transformation because instability is marketable. In my ex's case, the signs were everywhere. A rapid reversal on the value of stay-at-home parents. A rapid reversal on her pride in me and our boys' sport. A rapid embrace of new ideologies about choice, growth, and authenticity. None of these reversals were questioned. When change is not growth, coaching loves to elevate itself above psychology. It boasts about speed, efficiency, and future focus. But its very strengths are its frailties. By refusing to ask why, by avoiding the hard questions, and by mistaking rapport for depth, Coaching enables people to rewrite history in ways that harm families, relationships, and communities. My story is not unique. It is simply what happens when you celebrate change without examining it. Growth takes time. It takes looking back as well as forward. It takes the courage to ask uncomfortable questions and sit with messy answers. Coaching's refusal, or inability, to do that is not a strength. It is the reason so many breakthroughs end not in growth but in destruction.